final week of the Pokémon Premier League regular season. Win and in. Wasn't gonna be easy for Coach Shroom taking on his old friend Mr. Onesie. Or was it Red Sugimori? Honestly, I was losing track of who was who. I'd tried speaking to Onesie, even been to his place a few times, but he never opened the door for me.
Mr. Onesie, come on, open up, man.
After a while, I gave up altogether. Didn't know if I'd ever be able to contact him again. As it turned out, he was the one who contacted me. And I didn't like what I heard.
Hello, Detective. No, I'm still not your friend, Mr. Onesie. It's me, Red Sugimori. You know, for my first 5 weeks here in Draft League City, I was actually kind of happy. Sure, I was taken away from my home, taken away from everything I've ever known, and forced to compete in a tournament that, frankly, I didn't even know existed 3 months ago. But after week 5, something started to feel off. When I spoke to Blue for the first time, he told me that I'm not allowed to leave my apartment, or this apartment, because apparently the air's toxic. That doesn't seem very toxic, does it? I'm fine. I noticed it when I beat Necro Stevo. The air here is fine. People have been lying to me. So I stopped caring. I stopped caring about Kobukon. I stopped caring about the people that have been cheering me on, telling me I can't get home. I can get home. You know I can get home. Link cables are commonplace in this world, and I'm pretty sure that there's a few more back in Kobukon too. Ever since I stopped caring about Kobukon, I've started performing better. I should have beaten Mephisto, Don Mephisto. I beat Seabad. I should have beaten Mountay. But I made some mistakes. And I started enjoying it. I got a dub for me. And when it comes to you, Detective, the first 3 weeks, you were banging on that door, trying to get me to speak to you. Then you disappeared. And I was left alone again. On my own. So no, I will not speak to you. I will not open my door to you. Yet. I don't know whether you're just misguided, whether you were fed bad, false information by Drayden, or whether you are malicious. But I'm not ready to be your endgame, to be your finale. This is my finale. Whatever happens from here, I can't make the knockouts. Whatever happens from here, I cannot proceed in this competition. But you can. And I like that. Because now I have the opportunity to be your judge. To be your obstacle, to be your mystery. If you truly deserve to proceed, to move forward, to squeak into playoffs, you have to beat me. And not the me at the beginning of the season, who was indecisive and didn't know what he was doing. No, full strength me. Red Sugimori, not Kobacon's champion, me, Red. And I do not give in. I will not make this easy for you, detective. I will not give you an easy ride. Earn it. Beat me, make it to playoffs, and when all's said and done, come and find me. Then we'll talk.
Hello everyone, Shroomraver here, and welcome to Pokemon Premier League Week 9. Yes indeed, it's Judgment Day right now. This is winning in. It's coming right down to the wire. Essentially with this game, if we win this game, we are in playoffs. If we lose, there is a very, very high chance that we are out. So it's do or die, basically. And for this final week of the regular season, we have to take on my oldest rival and one of my closest friends. It is OnesieBanette and the Solihull Skarmoors. Is it Onesie? Is it Red Sugimori? Who can really say? But either way, his links down in the description below. Make sure you check them out. He's had a bit of a rough season, going in with rain for the second season in a row. The team he can choose from is Garchomp, Iron Hands, Heatran, Politoed, Galarian Weezing, Basculegion, Kingdra, Bisharp, Galarian Articuno, and Alolan Raichu. Those last two are his Terra Captains. Galarian Articuno can go Flying and Fairy, Alolan Raichu can go Electric, Ice, and Grass. He has a lot of different game modes he can go with here. He's got a lot of very powerful threats that we have to try and prep for. So, coming in first, while I load up my team sheet real quick just so I can see who I'm working with. We have Life Orb Greninja. It is Battle Bond. We are back with it. Nearly max on speed and special attack. We are outpacing the Alolan Raichu, I believe it is, and we have Hydro Pump, Dark Pulse, Water Shuriken, and Sludge Wave. End game, this is looking really good, especially if I can take advantage of his own rain. Those Hydro Pumps are going to be really massively powered up. This can also do work in front of some of his biggest threats, the likes of the Garchomp, the Basculegion if that comes, the Galarian Articuno. If it's not like Terra Fairy, we could be in with a good shout. So to try and support that, we have a very physically defensive Grimmsnarl, max defense with an Adamant Nature, 112 in attack, 144 going into speed. That is allowing me to speed creep some of his non-invested stuff. I believe a Heatran is on there with Light Screen, Thunder Wave, Player from Stomping Tantrum. This is going to be something of a failsafe against some of his Swift Swimmers. That Basculegion is very dangerous. We can't count out the Kingdra either. So if we have to get a Thunder Wave off on those and let Grimmsnarl go down, so be it. Play Rough is very good damage across him. We don't want to give too many potential boosts with Spirit Breaks to that Bisharp if it does come. Stomping Tantrum, nice for the Heatran, and hit some stuff neutrally as well. If he's not bringing Levitate Weezing, then we can do some work there. Helping us out even more is going to be this Expert Belt Mew. We have a very interesting EV spread going on here. 112 HP, 136 defense, 92 special attack with a modest nature, 144 in special defense and 24 in speed. This is a catch-all damaging wall. Stealth Rock, if we can get it up, great. It's going to be useful to break sashes if he's got that on like the Alolan Raichu, and a non-boots Articuno will not appreciate those either. Ice Beam, Earth Power Volt, which is very good coverage across his team. This is a potential lead as well. If he wants to try and lead with a spike stacking rocking Garchomp, this will be able to do a lot of work against it, and potentially Oko if it doesn't have very, very big special defense investment. Then we have a couple of Assault Vest users. First up is going to be Haxorus. Haxorus coming in here with 240 speed, 100 Spadef, Jolly Nature 168 into attack with the Assault Vest. This is allowing us to take a Scarfed Terra Fairy Terra Blast from that Galarian Articuno, which I'm kind of expecting to come Scarfed. Alex will bring a couple of Scarfers here, and he's got a few different options to go with. Personally, I think Galarian Articuno is one of the ones I'm anticipating. Outrage, Earthquake, First Impression, and Iron Head for good coverage across the team. Once we get rid of that Terra Fairy Articuno and the Weezing, then Outrage pretty much goes in hard. Not particularly anticipating Bisharp or Heatran coming here. I don't think they match up amazingly, but we have Earthquake to deal with them if they do. Second Assault Vest user is actually going to be a very specially defensive Toxicroak, with max special defense, calm or careful nature, minus special attack plus Spadef. Max invested, 20 speed, 148 attack, 88 into HP with Sucker Punch, Close Combat, Fake Out, and Bullet Punch. If he's bringing the Basculegion, which I'm fully anticipating him to do, it should be the female one, therefore it should be special. This is going to take any 2 hits from that, even adaptability boosted, and we can Sucker Punch our way through. It actually can't hit Basculegion outside of Sucker Punch, but realistically, he's either going to be just attacking and taking big damage or getting on out of there. Dry Skin to mitigate the Hydro Pumps, the Flip Turns and stuff like that. And good priority usage against the likes of the Garchomp and the other Raid Sweeper in the form of Kingdra. Bullet Punch is a preferred option again for that Terra Fairy and a way to at least get some chip damage onto the Weezing. Final member of the team, again it's specially defensive. Alex has a lot of special offense that can do a lot of damage to my team. So we have a Custap Berry Rotom Fan here. 200 HP, max special defense, 32 in defense, 24 speed, Pain Split, Volt Switch, Terra Blast, and once again Thunder Wave. A clutch Custap Berry Thunder Wave against the likes of Kingdra, Basculegion, Articuno could be really useful. Terra Blast goes decently hard into him, and we can Volt Switch out on the likes of the Heatran, and again, any of those water types. Pain Split could be useful if I'm low health going up against an Iron Hands coming in, or a Garchomp for example. That could be very useful indeed. So that is the team we are going in with. This is for all the marbles, you know. We need to break Alex or Red out of whatever funk he's in, and we just need this win. So, without further ado, let's get to the team battle screen and see what he has decided to bring against me. So, as you can see, Alex has decided to bring the female Basculegion, Bisharp, Alolan Raichu, Iron Hands, Kingdra, and Galarian Articuno. Not a lot of what I was expecting. No Garchomp is big, the Bisharp is an interesting bring, no Rain with both sweepers is also interesting, so I'm expecting at least one of them to be Scarfed. Probably either of the Raichu or the Galarian Articuno, but he could also be trying to set the electric terrain for the Raichu to do a nasty Life Orb sweep kind of deal. So, my decision doesn't change. I'm leading with Mew. Let's see what he decides to do. So, here we go. PPL Week 9 against OnesieBanette and the Solihull Skarmoors. There he is, looking away. He's going to start off with the Alolan Raichu. This is fine for me. I've gone with Mew. I see no reason to not go for Earth Power here. I could go for Rocks, but honestly, I think it's better to just get early damage onto this guy if he wants to try and be dangerous sweeping things. So Earth Power is going to be the play. We'll see how he decides to respond. Now here's what I was not expecting. Turn 1, Alex is going to Terra the Alolan Raichu off rip. So no Terra Galarian Articuno, but this is Terra Electric Alolan Raichu. This is potentially scary. If he's like a choice spec set, this is going to be doing a lot of damage. So in comes that Terra Electric Thunderbolt, and as you'll see, that is going to do nothing. Mew absolutely tanks the hit. We're going to go for Earth Power. Now, it's looking like he might have a bit of investment going on because he does live that hit, but we've managed to circumvent a pretty dangerous threat very early on, and Mew is still looking quite good. Now, I don't have to go for Earth Power here, an Ice Beam will do for it, and it will cover his switch into the likes of the Galarian Articuno if that's what he so chooses to do. So I'm going to go for Ice Beam and try and pick off a kill early game. Now Alex is going to switch on out of here, covering the potential that I might be choiced, and he is going to go hard into his Galarian Articuno, which is great for us. We're going to get an Ice Beam off, and that is going to do quite respectable damage, just under half, proving that this is probably a much bulkier Galarian Articuno, and if he was trying to cover Choice Scarfed Mew, that probably means that he's Choice Scarfed Alolan Raichu, which is good knowledge to have. Now, I'm just going to go for a Volt Switch here. It's looking like he's a bulky spread, and therefore it's looking like he can't really take me out from this range, so I can Volt Switch and reposition myself a little bit better. And that's what's going to happen. He's actually going to outpace and go for Light Screen, which, again, not expected. I was thinking this was going to be a very offensive Galarian Articuno bring. Turns out that he's very much more of a supportive set, which is fine for us. Now, given that, this is even safer for my Assault Vest Haxorus to try and do some work against. I was anticipating him to be an offensive Scarf Terra Fairy set, and an AV Haxorus in my investment was just about going to be able to live one of those hits. So, looking at him as a screen setter, it's looking even safer to go into Haxorus. Plus, I have the first impression, and he can't Terra out of a neutral hit. So, that is going to be the play. Haxorus is going to be my choice to come in here, and we are just going to try and click first impression and take this guy out before he can start setting up Reflect, if that is indeed his game plan with this Articuno early game. So, Haxorus, as you'll see, gonna hit the field. We're gonna lock in on first impression and see if we can get a KO. And there it is. First impression is gonna come in from Haxorus and take out the Galarian Articuno. So we take an early 6-5 lead here up against our rival in a game that is absolutely must win. Now, covering my potential choice band set, in is going to come Alex's very dangerous Basculegion. It is the female one. I'm fully anticipating this to be a scarfed set, but this is exactly why we have Toxicroak as a motorbike goes by outside my window. So, gonna call on back Haxorus and go into what is effectively my dedicated counter for this guy, and that is going to be Toxicroak. Now, Alex is not going to overpredict too early. He's just going to go for Flip Turn. We have the Dry Skin. This is a free switch. Now, as I've said, I'm fully anticipating him to be choiced. But I can't really touch him outside of Sucker Punch. And I'm fully expecting him to just switch on out here because he's not going to be able to hit me. With that in mind, it's not too much of a risk to just go for close combat. It will hit everything on his team pretty hard. The Raichu obviously is at very low health, so it will be taken out if it's what he chooses to go into. So I'm actually going to lock in on close combat here and see if we can't snag something coming in on switch. And he is going to switch on out of there with the Basculegion, proving to me that he must be Choice Scarfed. And Alex is actually going to choose to sack off the Raichu, I guess covering for a potential Sucker Punch as well. But close combat is going to come in through the resisted hit. It's actually not resisted anymore because he's not a Psychic type anymore. But either way, Raichu is going to go down. Toxicroak is going to pick up the KO. And once again, early game here, we are going to take a very nice 6-4 lead. Now, Alex is going to waste very little time going into his Kingdra here. This is dangerous. I really want to keep my Toxicroak at full health, especially at -1 from the close combat. So I'm actually going to choose to go back into my Mew here. I don't know what this Kingdra is going to do. It could be any number of things. Mew is kind of my safest option. A few of the things it was brought for haven't showed. So I'm going to go into Mew to try and scout out what this Kingdra wants to try and do to me. So Toxicroak is called back in front of this Kingdra. We are going to go, as I say, into the Mew, and then this happens. Focus Energy. So, after many weeks of not doing it, Alex has decided to bring Krittra. This is kind of scary now. So my play is to just Volt Switch on out of there, and again, try and reposition myself to counteract this. And this is what sells me on what I go into, because he goes for agility. So now he is +2 speed, and he is going to be getting crits out the wazoo. This is not great. He has that light screen up, so Volt Switch is going to do absolutely nothing to me. But we are going to get a free switch here, and it is going to have to be my Grimmsnarl. Now, as I said in the team builder, if Grimmsnarl has to go down in order to get a Thunder Wave off onto one of those Rain Sweepers, or in this case, an Agility Crit Sweeper, so be it. I know that Grimmsnarl's good into the rest of his team, but this Kingdra can very much just clean me out right now. So Grimmsnarl is going to come in and hit the field on that slow Volt Switch. We are just going to straight up go for Thunder Wave immediately. There is no reason for you not to do this. So Thunder Wave is going to come off here. Kingdra is back to neutral speed, which is very nice. What's even nicer is he's actually going to get paralyzed here. Now, what follows is me kind of messing up a little bit. I obviously he's going to have Draco because he's Crit Draw. And his last move is going to be Hydro Pump. And he has to go for Hydro Pump here. So my play to try and buy a bit of time really was to go into Toxicroak, which you can see I'm kind of considering. But I thought I still needed Toxicroak for that Basculegion. So what I'm actually going to do is stay in here with my Grimmsnarl and click Play Rough and kind of bank on him either not getting that crit or getting paralyzed again. And neither of those things happen. He's going to go for Hydro Pump and he's going to just clean crit and Oko my Grimmsnarl. This is a bit of a problem and this Kingdra has suddenly become very scary. The fact of the matter is, even as Light Screen wears off, there's very little I have on my team that can reliably Oko this guy. In fact, I only have one thing that can reliably Oko this guy, and that is Haxorus's Outrage. So I'm going to have to choose to go into Haxorus here, and then we have to play the guessing game of, does he just let this Kingdra go down to get a free switch into Haxorus, or is he going to try and be proactive and go into what is ostensibly going to be the Bisharp on an Outrage? So Haxorus comes back in once again, and like I say, it's all a toss-up of do I Outrage on him sacking a Paralyzed Kingdra, or do I Earthquake on a predicted switch into the Bisharp? I'm going to choose to go for Outrage because this thing is too scary. Even though it's paralyzed, it can still rip through my team, and we don't get it right. Alex is going to pull the switch. He's going to save Kingdra for later, and it is going to be that Bisharp that comes in. Now, unfortunately, I go for Outrage, and as you'll see, that is going to do nothing to this guy. This is very dangerous. I don't have defensive investment. I will take a hit, but I won't take two. Outrage is going to come in once again, take him to just above half. We don't get the 2-turn, and Ironhead is a clean 2-hit KO from there. I have no choice but to stay in and go for Outrage again. It's good damage on the Bisharp, but it's not going to be enough to take him out. As you'll see, Outrage coming in here, going to leave him at about 30-ish%. We get the 3-turn Outrage, and Bisharp is going to go for that subsequent Ironhead. Now that is going to take out my season MVP Haxorus, and now that my big physical attacker is gone, that potential AV Iron Hands is looking nasty. Now realistically, Toxicroak is my only play here. Alex has only seen one move off me, so there is still the chance that I could be choiced. He doesn't know that yet. Now, realistically, he should be switching out into Basculegion, but I can't really mess around with this Bisharp. It has already taken out one of my biggest threats. I kind of have to go for close combat and bank on him staying in, going for Sucker Punch, the chip damage predicting me to be Choice Scarfed, and letting his Bisharp go down. But Alex is a better player than that, we all know it. He is going to pull the switch around out of there, and he's going to go back into his Basculegion, which obviously is going to take nothing from this incoming close combat. However, this is what Toxicroak was brought for, to at least sponge hits from, and once again, he still doesn't know if we're choiced or not. I know that he is. I also know that he can't 2-hit KO me. So I'm actually going to stay in here and click Sucker Punch to gauge how much damage I can get on Basculegion. So, Sucker Punch is going to come in here and do just over half, which is good damage. He's going to go for that Adaptability Shadow Ball, and I really hope he was disappointed in how little damage that did, because that did nothing. Adaptability boosted, tanking it. Max Special Defense, AV Toxicroak, putting in work. Now, he is going to know that he can't stay in here. I win this 1v1 every single time, but on the off chance that he out-predicts me, stays in and Shadow Balls again, I am just going to go for Sucker Punch. I could high roll him, and it will take him down at the very least into the red. So I'm going to stay in, click Sucker Punch again, and try and get even more onto this guy. But this guy, or girl I should say, it is the female Basculegion, is going to switch on out of there, and in comes the big one. It's Iron Hands coming in, and obviously going to take nothing from the Sucker Punch. Now, Iron Hands is a problem. It just is, we all know it. I don't have anything I really want to go into right now on it. It's going to have to be Mew to try and sponge whatever it's going to do. Now, non-boosted Iron Hands won't be taking out Mew. I'm very bulky, and I will take at least one hit. So Mew is going to have to kind of be used to scout out what the Iron Hands wants to do, and maybe try and get an Earth Power off, or at least force it out. So, back comes Toxicroak, and as I say, my play here is to go into the little man. Mew is going to come in here and try and sponge a hit from Iron Hands. He's going to go for the Thunder Punch. We are going to sponge it, but we get paralyzed. That is unfortunate. Now, Alex is not to know that because I don't have much speed investment, I actually don't outspeed this Iron Hands anymore. But he doesn't know that. He also doesn't know that my best move to hit him is Earth Power. So I'm banking on all of those things forcing him out right now. I'm going to go for Earth Power and try and catch Bisharp on the switch into my potential stab move. And that is exactly how it's going to play out. We do force him out under the threat of a Psychic type move. Trying to cover that, in comes the Bisharp. We break through Paralysis. We are going to get the Earth Power off. And that's going to take out the Bisharp. Very, very happy to see that guy go down. It was a threat that I wasn't anticipating. And it's a threat that has done far too much damage to my team already than I'm comfortable with. Now, back in comes the Kingdra that he has saved for this. We're both paralysed. He will still be outpacing me. I am just going to go for the Volt Switch to try and reposition. I'm kind of having to sack Mew. And then he misses Draco Meteor. That's quite big. And we're going to break through Paralysis and go for Volt Switch. Now, we're going to get a bit more damage because of no Light Screen. That's a very fortunate state of affairs. We do get a little bit more chip damage, and that is going to hopefully put him in range of my Rotom fan. So, Wheels Malone, welcome to the party. In it comes, I'm going to immediately Terra Fairy and click Terra Blast. I have decent-ish power going on here. So, given how much that Volt Switch did, I'm hoping that a Terra Blast will be enough to take out the Kingdra. So, here we go. Going to Terra up the Rotom. Haven't been able to do that too much this season, but hopefully this is going to be the game where it really comes alive. There we go. Terra Fairy Rotom on the field. Going to hit that Terra Blast and try and take out this Kingdra and prevent it from doing nasty crit things. So, Terra Blast. Going to come in from my lovely spinning Rotom. Here it comes. Can we take out the Kingdra? Yes, we can. Lovely stuff. Kingdra is going to go down. Rotom picking up a KO this late on in the season. Always nice to see. Now in comes the Basculegion, and this is where I'm going to make a very, very bad misplay. I get caught up in the moment of I can Volt Switch out here and pick up another KO and get rid of Basculegion. I should not have done this. What I should have done is immediately gone into Greninja, because this is my only chance to get Battle Bonds, which is going to help take down that Iron Hand, which I need as much power to break through as possible. And he can't go for Water Stab because of my Toxicroak in the back, so he has to go for Shadow Ball or Ice Beam if that's what he's packing. So I really should have just gone hard into my Greninja, or at the very least sacked off Mew. I choose not to do either of them. Shadow Ball is going to come in, and as you'll see, because I'm very specially defensive, not going to do over half, which is nice. Special defense drop doesn't matter because I'm Volt Switching out, but as you'll see, we are going to pick up the Volt Switch KO onto the Basculegion. And while that might seem great, it means that Rotom's taken a bit of a hit, and I now cannot get Battle Bond with Greninja. So, really wishing that I had stayed Protean Specs like I was going to be originally on Greninja. He hits the field for the first time. In comes Iron Hands. 4v1 looks great, but Iron Hands can still win this match. Now the reason I go into Greninja is that I can then double back into the Mew and try and scout his set, because he's going to be forced to attack. Greninja is too much of a threat for him to try and set up on. So now I have to go into Mew and try and scout for the Drain Punch that he might have, and that will dictate the order of things to come. So Mew is going to come in here, and then that happens. Wasn't expecting Charge. And this starts to panic me, because it means he's not AV, but he effectively is, because he's now +1 special defense, and I'm thinking that means weakness policy. That means I can't hit him with Earth Power, and my only out that I can think of is to try and fish for an Ice Beam freeze. Because if he's weakness policy, and like Swords Dance, he can then start Drain Punching my resistances, my Rotom Fan, my Toxicroak. He goes for Charge here, and I can't remember if I actually went for Earth Power or Ice Beam. I went for Ice Beam, and it does nothing. We don't get a freeze, and now I'm thinking, well, it doesn't matter. Now I kind of have to get out of here and do something better. He goes for Swords Dance, and now he's +2 special defense, +2 attack. We get paralyzed on the Volt Switch. This is not looking good. He is very set up. We know he's got Thunder Punch. He's probably got Drain Punch. And now I just have to hope that the rest of my team can do it, because Drain Punch is going to take out Mew. So, here's the situation. Mew has gone down. we are facing down a +2 attack, +2 special defense, Thunder Punch, Drain Punch, Iron Hands. Greninja has to be the last one in, because if I try and hit him with Hydro Pump, he's going to Drain Punch back all that health and we just lose. What I effectively have to hope here is that the combination of Fake Out into Close Combat, into Terra Fairy, Terra Blast, into Hydro Pump, Life Orb, Greninja is enough to take out this Iron Hands. That is the order of play, that is how things have to be. So in comes Toxicroak, and again this was actually kind of a mistake. What I should have done here was actually gone into Rotom and clicked Pain Split into Terra Blast. That would have been better for me. But as it is, this is what I've chosen to do. We're going to Fake Out first, and that is going to do pathetic damage. Nothing I can really do about that. Now we're going to go for Close Combat. He's going to take us out with a Thunder Punch. That's undeniable. Close Combat's going to come in here, and that is going to do a respectable amount of damage to this guy. He's at about 55-ish%. He's going to go for the Thunder Punch. He can't go for Drain. That is important. At least he's not getting health back. And down it goes. Now, at this point, it doesn't matter if he's Weakness Policy. I have to go for Terra Blast. I don't have a choice. I can't be going for Pain Split here because I'm not going to get enough health back. So, realistically, Terra Blast is the only play. I considered Pain Split, but I thought at this point, if he's Weakness Policy, he's Weakness Policy. We're going to go for Terra Blast. We're going to try and get as much damage as...
My, Mr. Striker. He's got your whole world in his iron hands. This does not please me. If I cannot progress further, well, at least I can influence who does. You may both be my enemies, but at least I never wasted my time trying to recruit you, Detective Inspector. So, Red, for your rejection of my ideals, this is my final gift to you. As it happened to me last season, so it shall happen to you now. No Phrenergy miracles today, only nightmares tonight.
From the range he's at, Sludge Wave is going to pick up the KO. Iron Hands goes down, and that is going to be the game. Yeah. Let's talk about that. We pick up a win, but let's talk about that. I don't feel good about it. And I do want to say that I had this up on my screen and I was about to yeet the controller through the window at not picking up that KO. And then Iron Hands went for charge and a shocked silence filled my room. And I was just utterly bemused by what had happened, as I'm sure you can imagine. And then, almost immediately after the charge went off, I looked down onto my computer toolbar and saw the little Discord icon. Notification, 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 notification. And I was like, something's gone wrong. And something had gone wrong. The simplest of things outside of anyone's control. It has happened before. And it's just something as simple as a Joy-Con misclick. You know? Alex, I spoke to him at length after this. He was looking at his calcs to see how much extra sensory would do. All it takes is a Joy-Con to drift into a different move and you lose a game that you should win. I've spoken to a lot of people about this, about what happened. Most people have been incredibly sympathetic, as should be the case. A few people have sort of looked at this with suspicion, because that is a misclick that lost Alex the game and won me a playoff position from someone who's a very good friend of mine, a bitter rival, but a friend. There is no doubt in the mind of myself or any of the commission I've talked about that this is just a freak incident, you know? There's no case to be made whatsoever for this being a deliberate throw. I can tell that from Alex's immediate reaction. Also, just given the fact that we are very good friends, this is not the kind of thing that he would do, this is not the kind of thing anyone would do. There's nothing sus about it. It is one of those things that happens. It has happened to me before. Last season, the same thing happened to Necro in a winning situation against me. Call it plot armor, call it intervention from something, call it the hands of fate, I don't know. The upshot of it is, we do win the game. And the upshot of that is, we are in playoffs. Do I deserve to be in playoffs from how this scene has gone? Maybe. Do I deserve it from how this game went? No. No, not even a little bit. But we are going to take it. We're going to take this incredible fortune and we are going to run with it. Because we are in playoffs. Just and by the skin of our teeth. So that is how it is. Ladies and gents, for the second season running, we have squeaked into playoffs in a very underdog position. We are going to make the best of it. Who knows who we're going to be playing next time? That is not for us to decide. That is for someone else to decide. Not me. But that's how it is. So, we move on. Alex currently is having all sorts of tech issues, not just this. His computer has died a death, so you'll have noticed if you're watching the PPL that he hasn't been able to upload anything, so we can't see his side of this, unfortunately. But his links are down in the description. Do make sure you check them out. Whatever's happening in Draft League City, OnesieBanette is one of my closest friends. He is like a brother to me, honestly. So please do go and check out his content. He's doing amazing things with Pokemon Academy Life, bringing that into this world as well. He's doing fantastic work, and he deserves all the love, as does everyone in the league, so check out all of the links. It's a weird feeling. I don't know how to feel about it, but we've made it, and we go onwards from here. So, I'm going to get out of here. I've rambled on far too long. Keep your eyes out for playoffs, they're coming up, but my final thank you to you all for watching, and I guess with that, I will see you next time. Laters.